We've lost one of the great buildings, one of the great pieces of history on the Bowery. It wasn't just historical, but it was also architecturally unique. If you'd seen it, you would not recognize any other place in New York.
In the 19th century, Lower East Side was a center of German immigration. Many of the buildings in the East Village reflect the history of those immigrants.
The Germania Bank had many locations on the Bowery. One of the earliest was this building, this very unique building, and a very beautiful building. It was a prime target for preservation and landmarking by the Landmarks Commission.
However, the building 185 Bowery was bought by developer Bragg Capital Real Estate in June 30, 2008. Bragg Capital just recently demolished the top story of the bank and plans to burn it into a hotel, a move that has not pleased the Bowery Alliance of Neighbors, a grassroots group of residents working to preserve historic buildings in the neighborhood.
And one of the reasons we were formed was when the huge Cooper Square Hotel was built, and that was a warning. And this gives you some idea of the scope of this building. It towers over the community. It is out of context, and it is totally out of character with the community. And the Bowery Alliance of Neighbors could see that this was going to be the future of the Bowery if it was not protected.
Although the Bowery Alliance of Neighbors has produced a East Bowery Preservation Plan and delivered it to the Department of City Planning, the city has sent a clear message.
The city sends a very clear message about that. They want tourism on the Bowery. The new museum was recently built on the Bowery. This huge modern building. If you take a look at it, you'll recognize right away that you don't build a building like that without expecting other buildings to follow, and that the neighborhood will follow.
Right now, there are 3 hotels which are in the midst of being constructed on the Bowery, so the residents are pretty concerned about the future of their neighborhood.
People come here from different places, internationally, nationally, to see the history of New York, not just to go to a play, not just to go to Midtown where the buildings are huge and wow, what's the latest thing and where can I eat that's, cutting edge, but to see buildings that these hotels will displace.
However, there are still some historic buildings along the Bowery.
The New World Hotel used to be Worth's Dime Museum. You see, in the 19th century, the Bowery was New York's entertainment district. There were theaters all along the Bowery. There were dime museums. It was the original White Way. It was the most brightly lit street in all of America, probably in the whole world when electricity was introduced. It was what Broadway today is, the Bowery was in the 19th century.
It might be too late to save the Germania Bank, but hoping to save the other historic buildings on the Bowery.